We are not licensed medical professionals. The thoughts and opinions expressed on this podcast are meant to share our experiences and not to diagnose or as a form of treatment. If you or anyone you know is currently suffering, respectfully encourage them to seek help from a licensed medical professional. The topics discussed in this podcast may be triggering for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Now Try It With Mine. My name's Mary.
I'm Des, and today we have a special guest, my friend Priscilla.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
We're happy to have more people to drink wine with.
Yeah, and we don't look too alcoholic, finishing a couple of bottles.
In a week.
It's pretty bad.
And I don't say we promote alcoholism. It's just, it helps us get a little more relaxed to be vulnerable with everybody through our podcast. So I do not promote alcoholism. On a personal note, this wine is delicious.
So today's topic is body image, and this is my first time being the big person.
Yeah, Des is taking charge of this episode.
So I'm getting most of my content or research from the mentalhealth.org.uk. Of course, we'll be linking it in the description. So body image is a term that can be used to describe what we think or feel about our bodies. It can be negative or positive, obviously. Today, I want to, more focus on negative because I feel like a lot of Latina women have it because of our culture. It can be from your skin, your weight, acne, scarring. I don't know what else.
Just some basic shit. Anything that they can, it's really a bullying mentality in our culture. Mm-hmm. So anything they can find to pick at you at, they're going to do it.
Exactly. So I want to bring in, some statistics I found. So it says one in five adults, 20%, felt shame or just overall felt low about their self-esteem. Amongst teenagers, 37% felt upset and 31% felt ashamed about their body image. Just over 1/3 of adults said that they felt anxious or depressed about their body image. And another thing that I really do want to point out, the article says 1 in 8 adults, which is 13%, have experienced suicidal thoughts or feelings because of the concerns of their body image. Obviously, that is kind of heavy, but I want to put that in there because getting bullied for it makes you do crazy things.
And that's among general population. I think I would suspect, I cannot find the statistics on it because we're not research material. But I highly, as a culture, they don't do research studies on this kind of stuff for us.
I would say this is more general. I would love to see
something based on our people. Because I highly suspect that those numbers are way worse within the Latin community.
I mean, because it starts at an early childhood with their terms of endearment, like their pet names.
Yeah, like gordita.
Yeah.
And even flaca, to a certain extent, can be seen as a... Because it's so physical based.
Well, the way that they say it too, it's not like a compliment. They're like...
But then they're like, but I'm just playing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't be mad about it.
No, because then you're seen as being dramatic or causing an issue. Like you're being too sensitive. There's a heightened sensitivity issues, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
We should also point out that it's not just family. It can be your friends, your significant other... Fuck it, your dog.
I know Des said that she had, for me, I told her for my self-image, I do actually remember a period where I wasn't feeling that great about myself. And it was because family was telling me I wasn't as pretty as another family member.
Yes, that's huge. No, yeah, I definitely think because my body type was different than my sister's, they're more athletic built. So I would be the gordita, and then because they would call me that, someone that I knew would use that as a pet name for me, and I had to accept it even though it made me feel terrible about myself. So because they told me how I should feel about it, I let other people tell me oh, you're just gordita, and I had to take it, and it didn't feel good at all.
I think what you said is really important because I think and especially with my own family, They don't think that what they're saying to me is a big deal, but they don't realize that we're setting expectations with them of how the rest of the world is going to treat us.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to bring out that we said that in validation, that words can hurt. Again, just with nicknames. I did want to speak more on it. Like, were there any, like, times for y'all that I guess, like, you felt real down about your body?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, of course, early childhood, but for me, it really stuck in high school with someone that I used to know. They would compare me to another girl they knew, and it made me feel terrible about myself. Like, I was 5'2", 115 pounds, and they would call me fat because I had bigger thighs. And then I remember one time they said how cellulite and stretch marks are disgusting. And then I was quiet because I have that. And they're like, if you just worked out more, like, then you'd be okay. I was 95 pounds. Like, I could not work out anymore. I went to the doctors, like, because I would I would have blackouts and low iron and everything. And the doctor even told me not to lose any more weight. Like, I was already underweight. And I took that as a compliment because I was like, oh, I'm not big anymore. I'm skinny is what he's telling me. And it was just like a really unhealthy place for me. And I was just so unhappy with myself. Like, wherever my weight was, I was just like, that's what controlled my life. And I could not eat anything. Like, it was just like a really terrible feeling.
So it's like modifying your behavior to fit what that person was saying about you?
Yeah, because with anything, it's like, okay, I lost weight and everything, and it's like, oh, but you still have this, so you need to work on that. And then it's like, okay, so I did this, and it's like, no, you still have all of this to work with. Like, you're not good enough. And for some reason, I don't know why, like, I took it. I was like, okay, like, then I do need to fix myself. And that really controlled my life for like 7 years.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Me and Des did talk about like how we internalize the words, the hate speech of other people in our, I think it was our boundary episode where we're talking about how we needed to set better boundaries in order to avoid having that hate speech like seep into us. But I'm guessing this was your Lord Voldemort and this was happening in high school.
Yes. And I think the way that they worded it too, it was more of Voldemort. Like, they're like, well, I'm just trying to like help you with your health. You know, I just want you to be happy with your body. And I know you'd be happier if you looked like this.
A compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
We see it again. It rears its head again. We also talked about that in our validation issue, that the people that we're seeking validation from when they have poor intentions will often mask what they're saying with compliments, or they'll seem charismatic or energetic to us. And that in some way, because you have a romantic relationship with this person, they're meeting a different need. So you're applying the good parts to all the bad parts. Like, even if they outweigh each other, you're still masking the whole thing with the good stuff.
Yeah. I think also, because it really was just that person. And then when I moved away, like, I started getting like healthier. Like, I started gaining weight, healthy, and I would work out, but like in a healthy way. And they would go by the number on the scale. So like, I gained weight, and then they said that I needed to lose weight again, that I needed to be 95 pounds. And then it would like, my weight would just fluctuate, that it got to the point where my stomach was so tiny, like I could take a bite out of something and want to throw up because I was so full. Like, it was like I was starving, but when I would like try to take a bite out of something, I wanted to throw up.
Yeah, because your body got used to that lower intake.
Yeah.
Because of how bad he
mess with your mind.
Yeah, how bad he talked about your body image. You had an eating disorder.
I know. I honestly
you have
like
to laugh us to keep from crying.
I honestly didn't even think that I had one until I was like talking to my sister about it, and then she's like, I think like you had an eating disorder. And I was like, no, like everybody goes through that. And she's like, that's not normal. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, because I mean, all the signs were there that I did.
And I think that's part of the reason why we started this podcast, is because we realized, especially within our culture, it's so closed off that we're not having these conversations when we need to. And no one's hearing our side of it at all.
And they probably don't even know that they have an eating disorder. Because at that time, I didn't think I did. And then looking back at it, I definitely did. So like, if they're going through it and they're like, no, like, I'm happy though, like they love me and everything, but they really are going through like this eating disorder and they have no idea.
Yeah, because they think they're being normal. Everyone's doing a fad diet, so they think it's part of the culture.
Mm-hmm. Especially in high school.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's trying to like look perfect.
Yeah. Well, even then, like when I was 95 pounds and I was like happy because I was like underweight, I couldn't donate blood, and a friend of mine was telling me how I should, and then someone looked me up and down, and then she's like, "Have you seen her? Look at her." And she said it like disgusted with me, and I felt so gross about myself because of that. So it was like either or. I was either too big or too small. Like there was just, I couldn't find like a place that I was happy with.
Well, obviously that's different now. How did you kind of get to that point now where you're in a healthier place?
Well, my husband helped me there because I would talk to him about my insecurities, and he kind of helped me realize like everybody has cellulite, everybody has stretch marks. Like he told me how he has stretch marks, and he was like, women carry fat differently. He's like, everybody has a different body type. Like you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody. You know what your body needs, and that's all really that matters. And so like that really helped. And then
Mary's doing the imagination
because we did it for our validation episode, because I was like, imagination, and this is all validation.
Yeah, I think that's what I needed to start it, but I feel like I really didn't get to the point where I'm at because my mindset was still like, I need to look good for somebody else, you know. And now I'm at the place where it's like, I just want to do things because I love myself. Like I'm not working out or going on like this healthy journey because I hate myself. I'm doing it because I love myself.
Like you want to do it.
Yeah, because when I used to go running or work out, I would do it because I was like, oh, you're so disgusting, you're gross, you need to lose weight. And it was terrible. And now I'm doing it because like I actually enjoy it. Like I'll just go on walks and it'll be nice. Like there's no pressure or anything.
And I like how you said it, because you got that validation, you were able to take ownership of the issue and start making changes for yourself and not for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know everybody's different, so it would be different. Like for me, I needed the validation, and that could be different for someone else.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of pressure for us to validate ourselves. Like everyone's always telling you don't need anybody, just validate yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that comment.
Especially us as Latinos, we're raised in such a family oriented, wanting to be together. We're told our family is our strength. But what happens when that strength fails you?
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do? And you can't always pull it from yourself. Sometimes you have to borrow someone else's strength. And I think your partner provided that.
I'm going to start my period soon. I'm sorry. I'm a little antsy today.
It's a ragtag game right now.
Yep.
So I talked about it in the validation episode that I made a really bad career choice. I guess today's the day that I talk about it. I was supposed to go to college for a physician assistant. It was something medical wise. And then I had someone tell me like, no, join the army. You want a cool car and the coolest, hottest guy? Join the army, bro. You want all this money? Join the army.
Man, they really sold you.
They sold me.
I'm sold.
I know. Applying right now.
What's crazy is I figured it out by like senior year that I wanted to do it. And I remember going to the doctors like for my yearly checkup for like physical wise.
We took too long to get to a wine break. I had to do it.
I was going to ask. Ooh, wait. You got to pour it into the...
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to take a wine break real quick.
Just smelling it, I'm there. Today, we're going to do a sweet red from the same brand we did that sweet rosé on. And this one, I like it. It's a little more
Did you
bitter.
want some? Oh, no, you were going to... I'm sorry.
Yeah, I babysit my drink.
Sorry, I'm an alcoholic.
I know, me and Des are over here. Okay, apparently we've been doing the podcast for too long and we're only 7 episodes in because we cleared that first bottle, our first glass before Priscilla got to hers.
Let us drink before I continue. Very fruity. Is it like a peach taste?
I'm not sure. Oh, it's cherry with mixed berry flavored.
Ooh.
You know what? Maybe like blueberry?
I really taste a cherry in it when I drink it.
Yeah, I'm getting the cherry now. Ooh.
I love how it says aromatic notes of cherry and mixed berry.
Oh,
Right? It sounds almost pornographic.
you want cherries with mixed
Right? You want me to mix my cherries with your berries?
Oh my god.
Oh, let's delete that. Sorry.
Don't delete it, please.
Let that be the intro.
Oh, that can be our thing. That you want some cherries.
Mixed berries.
Okay, so anyways, I went to the doctor to get my physical for tennis in order to like tell them that like I'm physical enough to join tennis. I'm 5 foot and I was 130 pounds at the time, and my doctor was like, you are perfect. Like, I have never seen someone your size perfect. You have wherever your fat was, you had it everywhere you needed, you know? Your BMI's perfect, your weight's perfect for your height, like, you're good. Well, then I went to go join the army, and they were like, you're too fat to join. You need to lose weight. And I remember my recruiter told me, like, before I did my last weigh-in in order to go to basic, he was like, you need to shit your pants. Like, take a suppository or something so you can lose a couple more pounds. Again, that's for the military, but it does mess up your body. Because I remember coming back for Christmas break, and I weighed myself. That was my first time weighing myself after being in basic for like almost 2 months. And I was at my lowest that I've been since middle school. I was 118 pounds. I want to preference that I got a big dumpy. That's where I carry most of my weight. Like, I don't got
That's
boobs.
what the doctor was saying.
I know, right? Your fat's perfect.
What was the gender of this doctor? And I didn't know their name.
It was a male.
See, they know what's up.
But
It was his BMI chart.
But I actually like kind of lost my butt. I didn't really have big boobs to begin with, but like I was real flat chested then for sure. Like, I lost all of my like fat. I never got tested to like check my BMI and stuff, but I remember when I like checked, that was the first day of the 2-week quote unquote vacation I had to be with my family. And I remember I was like, okay, I'm 118. I think I can lose 3 more pounds before I go back to the military. Like, before I go back to basic training. Because I still had to train, you know, I was still in basic, so I still had to pass in order to continue my journey. And so I was like, okay, if I lose 3 more pounds, like, they won't yell at me. Because they told me before I left, they're like, if you gain any fucking weight, there's a chance you'll go home again. So
Jesus, that's like a model agency, kind of.
yeah.
Like, and what, like, if you lost all this weight, you're gonna be all skinny, and who are you gonna defend? You a toothpick.
I was like super skinny.
I remember when you came back.
I only have one picture of that time, and it was when my parents were picking me up from the airport, and like my clothes looked so huge on me.
Well, did you have like any energy?
Yes and no. So at the time I left, we were only eating MREs, which are meals ready to go. I don't remember what it stands for. And those are like that you usually get in the field, so you don't caca or poop, like pee. You know, they like hold everything in. So I remember always feeling like not grouchy, like sluggish. And I was always tired. I was always sleep deprived, which made sense because I only got like maybe 6 hours of sleep every night, and then that's if I didn't have like a night's watch, like Game of Thrones. But I
Winter
guess
is coming.
I can't really tell you if I did like feel different, only because like I was already sleep deprived. I was always hungry because like they would feed us, but I'm a really picky eater. So I'd be like, for breakfast I'm gonna eat this biscuit and maybe this thing that kind of looks like meat.
You're like, I know I need to eat this to survive, but
do I really want to?
How did you feel about the changes to your body? Did you notice anything?
In my perspective, like Priscilla, I felt great. I felt like I was like, I'm finally skinny. Like, I could finally look at myself in the mirror. Because again, I didn't say this. When I was 130 pounds, when I was in high school, I was still like, you can still lose weight, Des. Like, you still have kind of longhas right here, you know, like, maybe you could still lose it. So when I became 118 pounds, I was like, I'm finally who I want to be. Like, I look perfect in my eyes, you know? But I was skinny. And I didn't, like, now thinking about it, I never want to go back to that. Because I really felt like if the wind was a little too windy, girl, I'd fall.
Both of your stories kind of made me think, like, when did healthy become not enough?
Well, I think that's what I was going to say, too, because, like, how Des said, she went from 118, and she's like, well, I can still lose 3 pounds. I was 95 pounds underweight, and I still was like, I still need to work out and do this because I have cellulite. And even the doctor said, like, you don't need to be losing more weight, and it still wasn't enough. I don't think it's until I distanced myself from that said person that I started doing things in a healthy way and I was more happy.
Yeah, I never got that. I like really liked how I looked, but I knew that I wasn't what I was supposed to be. I knew that for a fact because I just knew. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I think more so, like, I started having, like, body images is when we talked about invalidation, when I started getting bigger because I hurt myself and that's why I left. I don't want to get into that. But I hurt myself and they were like, all right, you can either...
She got hurt while in the basic. It's not that she intentionally harmed herself. I want to make that clear. I don't want anyone being like, oh God, there's more tea. I want to hear it.
on one of the like obstacles you have to do in order to pass basic training, I got injured. And then I had to go to like physical therapy and stuff for a couple of months. And they told me either you can redo all of basic training, which was like almost 3.5 months, or you can go home. And I don't think I ever told anyone, but they were really rooting for like me to go home because they don't want someone that's broken. Why would you want someone that's broken, you know? So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go home. I felt like a failure. So that's when I started having that. I think that was my first disorder. I had a binge eating problem. I would just like eat and eat and eat because I thought that was like the best way to cope with it.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's when I started getting body images because I just got out of the military where I was the skinniest I've ever been since middle school. And I thought that was like the perfect image of myself. And now I'm this big girl that's like ugly when I look at her, you know? I don't see that now. Like now I'm working on it. And Andrew does like validate me often. But I always tell him you have to because you married me. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to like still hear things like, oh, you look really good today, you know, or I really like, I know it's crazy, but when people like notice that I started wearing jeans again, it was because I finally felt okay to wear jeans again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What about you, Mary? Was there like a time that you felt like that?
I didn't let it get to me, but it did happen when I went to college and I gained my first of many. Freshman 15.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I don't know, like, so when I was in high school, I had noticed when I was getting closer to my, honestly, I found out really early, like, I want to say my freshman year that I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian disease, and it affected a lot of my hormones. My cycle was very difficult for me. I would get in these I would throw up from the pain, and I couldn't be like, I would lose feeling in my legs. And I wouldn't like completely black out, but I would faint a lot. Like,
yeah.
And I try to hide it as much as possible, to be honest, but then the pain was hard to hide.
Mm-hmm.
And since then I've had to do many procedures because of it, because the lining gets too thick. And then it always increases as I get older, my increases of developing cancer from it, because those cysts, if some of them are blood filled and I don't get them removed in a timely manner, it's a whole thing. But one of the biggest symptoms of this disease is weight gain. And I was telling Des that I started gaining a lot of weight. People were making comments. It hurt, but it wasn't. I knew that I wasn't eating badly. I knew I was still being active.
Yeah.
I did a lot of extra physical activities in college to try
extracurricular.
Yeah, but physical based ones. So
yeah.
I took they only required one, but I took like one every year. because I wanted to make sure that I was still staying active just for myself. I didn't really like do it for anybody else. It was just for myself. So I did ballet. I did there was like a track conditioning course I took. And then there was another phys edology or something like that. But I was only there for 3 years because I graduated a year early. But I kept up with that for myself. Again, I knew I was gaining weight. I wasn't eating horribly. I was doing what I could. But when you have something in your body that's fighting against you, it can feel very like, why even bother? Like, why bother trying?
Because it's out of your control.
Yeah. And a lot of my family members don't get that now because I've lost weight. But that's because of my anxiety. And now I'm eating even less than I was before. So I don't feel any better. But a lot of my family members have made comments about my weight. They finally stopped because I just kept ignoring them. But it did hurt when they kept bringing up my weight. Again, when I go to the doctor, I don't have anything physically wrong with me. I'm not diabetic. I don't have high cholesterol. My blood pressure is perfect. My hormones have made it so my body is not breaking down the fat. And if I go on the treatment plan, which the only treatment plan apparently is birth control, that's going to make me gain weight. I'm going to retain even more water.
Exactly.
So even the fix isn't going to fix this. So to me, it's kind of like I had to love the body I have because it's not going to change unless I do something crazy. And I really don't have the energy or give a shit enough to do something crazy. Like what I told Des, like what did bother me was when I would try to go find clothes and I could never find anything that fit me or was fitting me comfortably or like meet my modesty standards. Because apparently if you're a bigger bitch, they want to see them tits. And all of the things I found were very booby.
Yeah.
And I like the booby shirts, but I'm going to work. I'm going to see my grandparents. Why the hell do I want my body exposed that way? And I wasn't very comfortable in them either. It's just like a comfortability thing for me. Like I'm so busy. I have so much going on. Why can't I be comfortable while I'm doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So I started, I've been doing it for like a year now, like doing my own shirts because again, I may be approaching 30. But I'm still a Disney bitch and I want fun, comfortable clothes that have things that I actually like. Like I went crazy with a bunch of Stitch merch. It's crazy with Hello Kitty. I'm making a whole bunch of Hello Kitty sweaters now.
Oh my God, I love Hello Kitty.
I have her as V for Vendetta and the costume with the knives.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I love it. I'm excited to wear the clothes I make for myself because I'm designing them myself. I'm printing it out. I'm doing the whole thing on the shirts by myself. I'm buying like cute little headpieces from like different stores on Etsy. I've just decided that fuck it. If I'm gonna be fat, I'm gonna look cute as fuck doing it.
I agree with you. I also want a preference at my bridal shower. I love Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I love Pokemon so much. So when Target came out with their sleeping Pokemon, like little like series things, their line, Andrew said okay. I put that on the registry and people got it. And I had a comment and it was like, someone like said it. I remember hearing it. They're like, you need to grow up. You're getting married. You shouldn't be liking things like this. I was like, that's not your business.
It's not.
But that's what I wanted to like preface. I know it's not about body image, but you can still like things.
Yeah, and be fun with your clothing. Like my mom always makes comments of like when I get her really bright, colorful makeup palettes because I think it'll look really pretty on her skin. She has very light, pretty skin. And she's like, no, I'm too old for that. What in the shit? You're talking to a woman wearing a Hello Kitty shirt. A 30-year-old woman wearing a Hello Kitty shirt.
You're like, what do you mean too old? She's like standing
I'm wearing Disney ears to work every day. What do you mean you're too old?
Honestly, that's what my grandma said was the secret to staying young. Like she dresses modest, but she still goes clubbing. Like she's like, people are going to say that I'm old. I'm not. I'm young at heart. And she's like really healthy for her age.
I know. Honestly, I learned, at least from my mom, to love yourself. I learned from my mom to love yourself, you know. My mom is my mom, and she does get older, but she is still 27 to me.
She's gorgeous.
She is.
All our mamas are gorgeous.
Yeah.
My mom looks like super young for her age. I'm not going to tell you her age.
Oh my God.
Because I don't even know.
You how many times my family has seen Des and her dad, her mom and dad together. And they're like, who is that old man next to Des's sister? The dress she wore to your sister's
She looked
quinceañera,
so-
she looked gorgeous.
Exactly.
Well, the one at your wedding too. She looked
she
so
did. She
good.
looked so pretty.
Exactly. My mom still loves wearing heels.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her, because I told my mom I stopped wearing them after COVID. I can't wear heels no
Me
more.
neither. I'm not fucking
I can't
around
walk
with
in them
heels.
anymore. And I used to walk in them like in high
In
school.
high school.
I
Can you
wore
believe
them
that?
to
All the
your
time.
wedding, and that was the extent. I don't even
Yeah.
know where those shoes are right now.
Yeah, same. I only wore heels for my wedding, like the ceremony, the pictures, and then I went to change.
I don't sit right for dresses. Never have. Never will. I just don't. If you're gonna see a whole lot of Mary if I'm forced to wear a dress. So I most of the time I'll wear like leggings or something underneath it because I'm more comfortable in pants.
Yeah.
And like I don't wear the oversized sweatshirts because I'm ashamed of like my shape. I like my shape. I've accepted myself for who I am. They're just fucking comfortable. And I love it because I don't have to worry about like how it's fitting or if it's ruching somewhere or if it's making, because a lot of the reason why I don't like the plus size shirts that are out there is that they just don't, if they're not going to give me a shape, fine, but at least be comfortable. And they're not comfortable to sit in. They're tight on the shoulders. They're tight on they're tight, like really low on your wrist. If I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have to be queen bitch for the day and like own myself and own where I'm going, I don't want to be, fashion is not enough for me to put too much energy into it. Like I have so many other things going on and I don't want to be worrying about, do I look good from the side?
Yeah. You want to wear something that you're happy with and comfortable with, you know? I used to wear, I still do, but I wear leggings like Mary said because that's the most comfortable I'm in. I just started wearing jeans because I'm comfortable with my body now, but oh my God, I hate jeans.
I don't like wearing jeans either. It's not very comfortable for me. They're comfortable like in the beginning, and as the day goes on, I'm like, get the fuck off me.
Yeah.
I did have a little bit of like body image issues when I started losing my hair. And I didn't like, I chopped it real short so you can't really see where like the spots are coming in. But I remember one time I was leaving for work and I checked the security camera because I thought I dropped my badge outside the house. And when I looked at the camera, I had this giant bald spot on the top of my head. And I immediately started crying and was like, oh my God, like when the fuck did that happen? Like I'm going bald. How old am I? I'm not even 30. Like my mind just like spun out of control. And I finally, like, I was crying to Robert about it and telling him, like, my hair like, in high school, I loved flipping my hair around. I loved my hair. And I hadn't really looked at myself in a long time. And he was like, well, do something about it. Go get extensions or something. I'm like, I got that kind of money. So I went online and I have been showing Des ponytail hair extensions for months.
Months, y'all.
And I was too chicken shit to buy them.
Every time she would show me, I'd be like, Mary, buy one. If you don't like it, it literally said free returns.
And I was like, I don't know, because I'm going to be too, like, I'm going to have my expectations high. I'm going to want something that's going to look great. And I was worried that it would be even harder for me if I got it and then hated it if I never got it at all. So when I finally broke down and got one and I wore it for the first time, I was so excited to go to work. And I even started putting on those fake eyelashes. I gave up. That shit hard.
I don't even know how to do that still.
I did it like for a couple of days, but it still was just taking me too long for my morning routine for it to be feasible every day.
I would work on it for like an hour and it still wouldn't come out good.
Yeah, I just gave
It was
up.
like on the middle of my eyelid.
I have to have someone else do it. I can't do it for myself. But the hair, like I felt like this overwhelming amount of confidence. Everybody complimented how pretty my hair looked. Half the people couldn't tell that it was fake.
You couldn't.
Because I would style it in such a way that blend in. I was very particular about blending it in because if I could notice, I wasn't going to wear it.
Well, is that what you wore that to Dez's wedding, right? It looked really good.
Because I chopped a lot of my hair off.
But it looked good and it made you feel good.
Yeah, and I loved it. And I've always encouraged like people to try something new that they weren't sure about. I don't do it now anymore because I feel like my confidence got up from wearing them for the short amount of time that I did. And now like I chopped my hair off so like you don't see all of that. Because I think part of the issue is the weight of my curly hair and my hair is so thin. It was just pulling the hair apart. It wasn't that I was actually had a bald spot. It was just appearing that way. But because of my Latina-ness, I went ape shit about it like immediately instead of like, maybe I should go get my hair cut. Maybe I need to get it layered. Like I need to style it different. I didn't go there. I went straight to, I'm ugly.
I'm bald.
I'm only, like, I don't even know how old I was, like 28, and I'm bald and ugly.
I'm a fucking egg.
I went straight to like the extreme. And I
Yeah.
think that once I got my confidence back up with the hair extensions, it didn't seem that big of a deal to me anymore. Like that insecurity was addressed.
Yeah, I think like that's how I feel right now. Like looking back at it, like when I see pictures and I was like, I was so depressed back then, but it's not even like a huge deal anymore. Like when I think about it now, it's not a huge deal to me right now.
Right. Because you put some distance and you've accepted that this is just something that is.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's really good, but I do relate to that, like how it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I want to preface again. Of course, y'all are accepting it, but it's not you're accepting it to like get over with it. It's more so like, is it because like you're starting to love yourself again?
Mine is, yeah. Which is like a really hard journey.
I think I've accepted it just because I've addressed it. Like I found out, like, if I really was feeling shitty, I have an alternative now.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think that's like you've accepted it, but because like you found a way to
live with it.
Yeah. I forgot to ask, but I was going to say, like, with the stories we had, can I fix this without hurting myself? Which I think are great examples for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Mary said, she's not bald. It's just that one day, it was a bad hair day. But it's good because now Mary has something that, like she said, if it's a bad day, she can always go back to it.
Yeah, and another part that freaks me out, because like, let's say I did want to do something about my weight, it would have to go to something clinical. Like I'd have to start putting crap in me to lower my weight and finding doctors. So I want to do it as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
And the immediate go-to of my doctors is start taking birth control. I still want to have the option of having a kid. PCOS makes it so that I lost my son over this shit. Why do I have to keep pumping things into my body to achieve an ideal weight when that's not even what I really want?
Mm-hmm.
So it's also about finding alternatives that work for you. So like me designing my own clothes, that was me taking control of an issue that I've been having for a long time, and I felt better about it. I really looked for ways to make me myself more personalized with my clothes, more my style, and a little more fun for me, rather than trying to find something that fit into someone else's bubble. My family hates my clothes. They think it's cute,
Yeah.
but it's because it's kiddish. And if I had, my goal was to make them happy, I would never be happy.
Oh, that was well said.
That shit was dark.
Yeah.
Because they have a very different outlook on life, and they were raised in a different period, and they have different values, and it's our culture. They have different expectations and values. My wedding, I got so much ridicule from my family because I did an upseam, but that spoke to me because she struggled having a baby.
It was perfect. I loved your theme.
And Robert is that old man.
He is.
He's grouchy. He tries to be friends with kids, but he comes off like aggressive and scary. And it takes him a little while, but once they warm up and he gets comfortable with them, he's playing with them all the time. Like my nieces, he loves my nieces, but he doesn't know how to approach them.
Yeah.
So it's like I connected with that movie so much because I do feel in a lot of ways that I'm this very like out of this, like, it's a coping mechanism I figured out about me being loud and trying to make everybody comfortable and talking to everybody. And Robert is the total opposite, and that grounds me because I'm actually, if I were to be honest with myself, I'm probably more like Robert. Very recluse, very withdrawn from people naturally. But because of the trauma, you can't be that person and get through the shit I've been through and still come out sane.
Yeah.
So I think as a defense mechanism, I'm this person you see in front of you. But in the inside, I'm like Robert. And that movie connected with me because Robert, I see how much he loves me because I'm this loud, crazy person. But he knows that's not really me all the time. And that movie just like, even though it was kiddish to a lot of other people, I understood him. Like, because I know if something were to happen to me, Robert would not know what to do with himself. Because we're just such, like, I don't know how to say it.
Like, bonded.
Yeah, we're like, and I like what I told Des, when I got married, it wasn't about, like, I knew I loved him. I loved him so, so much. But it had to be more than that for me. Because I saw what love could do if that's all you had. If there wasn't respect, loyalty, like dedication to one another, it was going to get hard and it was going to get nasty. Because love just isn't enough. Like, and then love can be very confusing and make you feel, it's very fine line between love and hate. I've always believed, especially when you throw anger in there, you're going to rotate between the two so much. And I was just being very intentional with my life and wanting something different. A lot of people in my family told me not to marry Robert. And I wanted something different than what I saw that they had. And I didn't take that advice because I wanted something different.
I think that's how it is with my partner. Like, we're the same person, but completely different in the way we think. I overthink everything, and he really keeps me grounded. He's more of like, hey, just do this and it'll work out. And if we just do it like this, it'll work out. And it really has eased my mind. So now I'm more of just like, I'm not carefree. I still overthink, but it's gotten a lot easier, I think.
Can I be honest with y'all? Do you always want answers? Like, sometimes I go to Andrew just to like vent about it. Like, I remember one time I was on my shackle and I was in the apartment, and our apartment or my apartment at the time had like this huge mirror that I had to pass in order to go to the restroom, like to the toilet or to the sink. And I remember my hamper was in my room, so I got naked and then I had to pass to like go to the shower to take a shower, and I got a glimpse of myself. Again, I was on my cycle, and that's when I feel the worst because I'm bloated and bad things are coming out of me. I looked at myself and I was like, you fat, ugly bitch.
I do talk to myself like that a lot.
But like, that was like my critic. Like, I was like, you are so ugly. What is Andrew doing with you, right? I still took a shower, obviously, right? And I remember getting in bed, and Andrew noticed that something was wrong with me. And he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I really don't want to talk about it right now. Like, this, it's not really something you can help me with. And he was like, okay. And then I just started crying. Like, I was bawling. And so he was finally like, what's wrong? And I told him, like, I was like, I just got a bad angle of myself on the wrong time of the month. And I just hate how I look. Obviously, I was saying this with tears. Like, I hate how I look. Like that, you know? Because I was bawling. And at that point, I didn't want answers. Like, I wouldn't want, if Andrew told me like, okay, well, maybe tomorrow we can go for a walk or something, you know? At that point, I wanted like, and he told me, he was like, I love you for you, and I think you're beautiful to me. I love your body. Like, everything, you know? Everything like I would want to hear at that time. But like, any other situation, I still wouldn't want answers. Like, if I told Andrew like, oh, I had a bad day at work, and he told me like, well, let's do this to fix it, I'd be like, I just want to vent to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that for me, I go to men to vent and women for answers.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
honestly, at least Priscilla and I have that. And every time like we do, I'm like, okay, I know you're venting, but do you want answers? Or I'll be like, do you want me to be real, or do you want me to sugarcoat? Like, I've always been like that with her.
I never even give you the option for me to sugarcoat.
I know. Priscilla's like, be real, girl.
And when you come to me, I'm like, you want me to be real right now? Like, I don't even give her the option of like, I can sugarcoat it. I was like, I'm either going to say nothing or I'm going to say everything. Like,
so tell me what you want.
I'll look at you and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's sad. Or do you want me to tell you what you did wrong? And I feel like that with a lot of family members when they come to me. I don't always say what they want to hear. I say what they need to hear. And that doesn't mean that they're going to like it or that they're even going to want to talk to me again.
Yeah. I could definitely feel that. Like,
but I could live with saying what I'm supposed to and not what you want to, because then I'll be stuck with guilt over it if I don't say the truth.
I think it depends on the situation. Like, in Dez's case, when she was feeling terrible about herself, like, I wouldn't have been like, oh, well, we can go for a walk, because I know like in that like at that point she would be like, she would feel even worse. She would be like, so you agree? You think that I look
never
ugly?
would have said that just because I would have to go on a walk.
But like, I think in situations where they're like telling you and they did do wrong, and if they continue that, it's just gonna not be like a great choice for them, then I would be honest with them.
Yeah, I've had it where family members have come to me for advice because they're venting about something else, and I'm like, but you see your part in it, right? You see how you kind of caused the problem, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing that to myself all the time.
I was definitely the mediator in the family.
Same. But I think that was one of like the bullet points that I put on like body image and then what we can do for self-love. Talk to somebody you trust and be very wary of who you trust. I don't want to sound like mean, like you shouldn't trust anybody, only yourself. No, just make sure that the person that you're talking to is wanting the best for you.
Yeah, like we talked about in the trust episode, they know enough about you to give you an answer that you need to hear or you want to hear, and that their motivation is there and that you can feel sincerity. I think authenticity and being honest with yourself about how authentic the other person is being is extremely helpful.
I think it helps in trust and, again, with body image. Because, I mean, if I came to Priscilla and told her, like, because we've done it together when I was getting ready for my wedding, I went on, like, this huge, like, exercise, like, I don't know, was it a binge?
You were at the gym with Robert all the time.
Yeah, I work out like every day.
I loved it. And it wasn't because, like, I was doing it, like, obviously my end goal was to lose some type of weight for the wedding, or, like, at least to get toned. But it was more so like I was just having fun being there with Robert, you know, like I could spot him, he could spot me. We'd make fun of each other all the time.
And other people.
Who did we make fun of?
No, Roberta.
Oh, Roberta did, not me.
When he's being a Mitch, his name is Roberta.
But anyways, I really enjoyed that. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You can be happy in exercising. You can be happy by talking to someone. You can be happy by just sitting and journaling about it. Whatever makes you happy, to understand that you are perfect. No matter what anyone says, you're perfect.
Just the way you are.
Stop, we'll get copyrighted.
I'm sorry.
But it's true. I don't care what anybody says. For me, I don't like watching those motivational speeches and shit on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I want to go to myself and look in the mirror and be like, you look good today, you know? You know what? You have that spot on your face from that big pimple that you were picking at last night. That's okay. We can put a pimple patch on it.
I like those motivational speakers. Not all of them. Some of them I feel get real corny.
Yeah.
My favorite is Dave Chappelle when he accepted some kind of award and he gave it was like a little stand-up speech hybrid. It was amazing.
Well, I like
highly recommend.
when he's just like really honest about it. Like he doesn't try to sugarcoat to make you feel better about yourself.
Exactly.
And that helped me be honest with yourself. That's what I do. I'm like, yes, you are overweight, but you still look good. You know? Actually, recently, my nephew, I wear a lot of crop tops because like I think I look cute in them. Okay.
She does.
You do look cute.
And I was raising my hand for something, and my nephew was like, "What are those marks on your tummy?" And he like pointed at me, and I was like, I can't tell him like, "Oh my god, girls," because like I got fat. No, I was like, a tiger came and scratched me, and I almost died. He believes me to this day. So he'll like ask like other women, he's like, "Are those tiger marks?" I'm like, "Yeah, those are tiger marks."
But what you did, like, to my opinion, you looked at the trust circles, because you didn't let that affect you in a negative way, because he's a little kid. He's not equipped to give you advice on your body.
Yeah, he calls me fat too.
Yeah, and his intentions weren't to be mean, but they're not, like, he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So you don't take what he says to heart. I heard other people take things that their kids or someone else says to heart. You're talking to a kid. They don't know what they're saying. They don't have any sense of decorum. They're not old enough yet.
So again, for some reason, we're doing these in random and they're just fitting together.
I know. I think it's all linked together because the whole goal of our podcast is to help us sort through our bullshit.
Yeah.
And they all kind of overlayer and have like similar roots.
I know I said it in the beginning. I can't afford counseling, but I want to go, you know. But this is helping me do self-care, self-love, and think about myself again, you know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And encourage us to take access to the resources we do have available to us, like Google.
Exactly. Mine's YouTube.
But you also want to use your trust circles on the resources in Google. Don't trust everything on the internet. Okay, love you, bye. Go ahead, Priscilla.
Oh, I was going to say, like, I think you just talking to someone, like Mary and Andrew being here, like you talking about it out loud really does help too. Like, because then when you say it out loud, you see it in a different perspective sometimes, or someone else will see it, and it's just so much better.
It's actually kind of weird. I told Andrew recently, it's weird having him, like, right there.
I think because he's not my husband, it's not weird. And
because
I have talked to Andrew before, so it's kind of like,
I've told Andrew, like, everything, and I'm always like, okay, like, are we okay, like, to talk about this, or do we need to talk about it? Like, when it comes to that time, like, do we need to talk about this before? It's just so weird. And then he has to listen to it again. Like, the validation one, I was like, oh my God, how many times did you have to go over me crying?
He's like, it was pitchy.
It could have been better.
We could have fixed that. Just cry to the left of the mic next time.
Anyways, I do want to end this episode. I know we kind of went everywhere, but it still came together. This is about body image. Address the problem. That's the first step. You have to address it that maybe I do have an eating disorder. Maybe I did gain a little weight because something happened in my life recently, but it's okay to feel that way. What's not okay is feeling that way and not wanting to do anything about it.
And giving up.
Don't give up.
And it might not be that you want to lose weight, but maybe you want to find ways to make yourself love the body you have.
Mm-hmm. Mine.
So like address and accept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, address it, accept it. When I'm ready to exercise again, I will do it. But again, do it when it makes you happy, not because someone's telling you to do it or you're doing it to make someone else happy.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, your choices probably will not make anybody happy. But who gives a shit because you'll look cute.
The only thing you'll hear, and I promise you, is, wow, you're looking skinnier. Is that really going to help you in the long run? Maybe it'll give you a confidence boost, but is it really going to help you?
Unless that's your goal, that you want to look skinnier,
Mm-hmm.
then I think it would help.
I mean, it give you, like, for me, when that was happening, like, you're looking toner, you're looking skinnier. It gave me a confidence boost, but it wasn't something that made me, like, continue going to the gym.
Yeah, it's just a temporary high.
Yeah, that's what it is. Then you get those lows. So, I guess we should end it here.
It was fun having Priscilla on. I want to do a separate episode where we straight up interview you.
I would be down for that. And this was super fun.
So if you, honestly, we have a lot of family listening. If you want to be a part of our podcast or you have a story you want to tell, or you're up for us to like interview you and we're going to get the scoop on the family.
We're going to put the light on you.
Going to go detective, Sherlock Holmes, and Watson.
And if you have a topic that you think would be good for the episode and want to hear, let us know.
Or if you think your life is interesting.
I recommend Instagram, or again, if you're family, just message us.
Yeah, we're always ready to talk, and we love all the feedback. That's another thing Des and I wanted to like sneak into this episode. Thank you so much for reaching out with all of your feedback. All of it's been positive, and we know that we're not doing everything right. So if you want to come tell us something wrong, do it nicely, but we're open to it.
We want constructive criticism.
Yeah, if you're just going to criticize, don't be calling Des.
Suck a butt.
So thanks for sitting with us again and talking about our lives, and we can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.
So thank you again for sitting with us on Now Try It With Wine. I'm Des.
And I'm Mary. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye, Priscilla.
Bye.
And don't you forget that charcuterie board, you heard?